minutes.
All right, call to order. Approval of minutes.
It's Angel. I'll make a motion.
Motion for approval.
I don't think we have any visitors.
No visitors.
No visitors. Old business. Streetscape update. Is that you, Marna?
Well, that's both of us.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any other new
Right.
updates other than it was supposed to be sometime in August, and we're already sometime in August. So I would assume, sorry guys, I will come, I thought there would be more people here. Hi, everybody. We were told they were still waiting on the light standards, and we don't have the light standards yet. So that's really what we're down to, is needing the light standards so that they can start the construction. But everything's approved and ready to go. It's just the same as a lot of other construction. They're just waiting on things.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so that's about as much of an update as we can give.
Gazebo series update. Fran, do you want to
Sure,
do that?
we have 32 sponsors committed
That's incredible.
for a total of $9,400.
Way to go, Fran.
Um,
That's the best ever by far.
In person is the difference.
Yeah.
And multiple
Going to meet
visits to
them?
some. Pardon me?
Going to meet them in person or?
Oh, yeah, I was actually face to face and some of them acted like that they had been asking for. And
I
it was
bet.
it was a no-brainer. I mean, so.
That's awesome. That's the best we've ever, probably best you've ever done.
Yeah, I set the bar
I
high
mean,
for
really,
myself.
mostly it was just people that went to the same people every year, and every once in a while somebody asked, but but that's awesome.
So we're doing good. I've been delivering, I haven't finished yet, posters, in fact, you can take yours,
Okay.
and countercards. I
Okay.
can leave some with you guys.
Yeah, it'd be
too.
great.
Basically, I'm targeting all the sponsors will get posters and countercards. First ad in Western Pepper Times will be out this week. And because we did so well, I went ahead and did a half page ad,
Perfect.
and they're waiving the color fee.
Cool.
Nice.
So we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the best. Thanks for doing all that. All right, let's move along. New business, fall events. I guess gazebo series. Anything else? That's
Well, sorry, go ahead. So I would start just today, and this isn't really a business district, but it's happening in your business district. It's the Missouri Bicentennial Celebration. And so Fran has worked greatly with Serendipity, and I can't remember the promotion, but there's an ice cream promotion because it is the Missouri Bicentennial Day. Fran, can you?
Yeah, they're
give us-
doing, the World's Fair ice cream, so that's why so all over the state, there'll be ice cream shows. At Serendipity, she did 2 special flavors. One uses Missouri products and Missouri nuts, and the other is a gooey butter.
Mm.
And then she's running a special where, if you want a waffle cone, you can upgrade your waffle cone, there's no additional charge.
Cool.
And if you like Serendipity, she's also got her ice cream at Hawken House is having an event today, and so is the Eugene Field House, and they're both serving Serendipity's ice cream.
Hey, John, does
Yes.
Ian have anything going for a fall thing, or is he trying to put something together?
Yes,
Okay.
we're, as of now, currently, yes, we haven't really announced it yet, and I don't know if they've brought it tomorrow for a license yet. As you know, staffing is dire, and to pull people aside and pull them to do that is something we're questioning why we're planning on doing it at the same time. We're kind of like, can we really do this? What are we thinking? Oh my gosh, why are we doing this? So it's a lot of work for not a lot of revenue for us. It doesn't become worth it ultimately. But yeah, give me another week or two. I wouldn't be surprised if someone hasn't already talked to Mara, because we have an action list of things to do. We just haven't I haven't sold myself that I want to put the energy into it, honestly. So let me get back to you on that one.
Okay, just curious, thanks.
So John, no one has talked to me yet, but just let me know.
I will. Yeah, I mean, we'll be in touch.
Have you guys even talked about a potential date?
It would be like the second or third weekend. I think it'd be like the 23rd or here, I don't have a calendar in front of me. That third weekend in October. Yes, it would be the 23rd. Anything else going that day?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
It's fall, so there might be a bunch of stuff somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be one of those weekends. Those couple weekends through there are always big weekends. The Best of Missouri Market's a big one that's similar, but it's usually the weekend before. It's usually the 16th. Or the first weekend, maybe it's even before that. I don't know if they're doing theirs though this year. So once again, give me a minute. We just there's so much happening. So
All right.
So,
Sorry,
Old Webster is planning to do the trick or treating event.
okay.
You guys normally participate. I don't know if you want to or not. I just thought I'd bring it up. The Saturday before Halloween, which is the 30th this year, I think. You put it down.
Yeah, so
Yes.
October
October 30th.
30th is a Saturday.
I'm up for doing that. John has most of the stores down there, so,
Yeah, it's a pretty easy event.
yeah.
I would imagine if you reach out to the varying stores, I would imagine Frisco and Civil Alchemy are in. The new business going into one of the spaces there, the old Sugar Pottery, the big space, Field Theory is affiliated with us, but it's our son, Ian, who is opening that business. And you guys will all know more about that soon. It's gonna be more of a men's outdoor store. So I'm sure he'll be in also.
Yeah, Fran, I'd say we'd be doing it, I mean,
All right,
I'm sure. All right, any other fall stuff or Kelly, besides the Zebo, I guess? All right, then BDC update.
Do I give this or do Fran to give? Just me?
either one of us.
Either one of us?
It used to be John,
Sure.
but now that he's not on the
Okay.
meetings.
Well, since we don't have a seated rep, I'll start in. So the BDC met, lots of conversation. They're still trying to figure out they're looking at a fall event as well. I believe they're talking about a scavenger hunt, if I'm correct. I think back to my notes now. So no details yet, though, in terms of a date or a time they want to move into that space. I did have a good conversation with Mike Pincus as I was moving into, just like I had with you, Bob, into the space with this. And there is a desire there from BDC to talk about a couple things. One of them is when we do have civic events that are happening, is there a way that we can help bring the business community into that? Namely, and this came up as we were looking, Glen Park, there's been some concerts sponsored by the Arts Commission at Glen Park. Is there a way to have meals to go brought out there? Is it a food truck type event? There's a lot of different opportunities, but what is right for the community character and nature of this community without, flooding a bunch of food vendors into a space, especially a small park like Glen Park. But what's the right way to do that? Is there a way to help the local business monetize on those events and such? And is that appropriate for all events? Is it just those kinds of questions and looks? So we did spend some time talking about that. They do want to look at that, but not in a way, again, I'll just add my perception of the conversation was also being careful to understand the local vendor need and not just a bunch of outside vendors coming in to, hawk food at an event. So certainly that's a value in our city. So that's my brief update from what was a relatively brief meeting. Fran, what did I miss? Anything
No,
that's
that was pretty much it.
so?
All right,
I know that one of my employees applied. I don't know how long it takes, but she was still willing to do that. I just know that it has to go through the process.
Did she get an email back from Katie?
I'll have to double check with her. I would have thought she would have mentioned it, but I know she like sent her application and had to do references and stuff, and that's the last time we talked about it. So I'll check with her this morning when she's in.
Yeah, just confirm and make sure it went through because Katie usually gets right back with them and especially, so the next council meeting is a week from today. And typically if she can, she gets them on for interviews.
Holland, what's her name?
Stephanie Skis, last name is Skees. So if she hasn't heard from Katie, is she supposed to resubmit or does she call somebody?
Just hang on, Holland. We had an interview, I think it was a BDC interview at the last council meeting. Let me check.
No, that was,
Tammy,
That was
yeah, that
Tammy.
was Tammy.
Okay,
And
all
she
right.
was, I got a message from Katie that she was.
She was
appointed,
appointed.
yes.
But was she taking that position?
She might have been. I don't-
Yeah. We'll check and see, Holland. It might have been that Tammy from Maypop interviewed at the last meeting and got appointed.
Okay. I didn't know if we had somebody from every area or is she in our
Yes.
area?
Yeah, so there's a thing that just is supposed to have one from each area, but then sometimes if they can't get someone to fill it, they put someone else in from another area. I'll check in with Katie and Eric and I will have her reach out.
Okay, great.
All right, guess that's it for that. How about city update? Second to it.
Yep, we have lots of city updates and I know Mara always has a list of all the permits and planning activities, so I won't get in her wheelhouse, but a couple things that are important. At this next council meeting on Tuesday night, and this is important, I think, for the business community really to know, the city will take its final and official action, although it's been announced, to require some mandate vaccines for all employees. And so we have a very high vaccination rate of well over 90%, but of course there are some that do not. The council has agreed to this as of the last meeting, but that news will become more public this week. So I wanted to make sure everyone's aware. That does not affect your employees or your workspace. We're not making this a police power across the city. It is just the city workforce. Now, I will caveat that with all your thinking is that the council could say to us, prepare an ordinance to require such or to require masks across the city. The city attorney has said that is legal for us to do, to essentially do what the county has been doing for the past year and a half, given the Delta variant is gone. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. There will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. on Facebook, another edition of our city chats when people can ask Dr. Peoples and I, the managers, any questions that they have, and that will probably be a topic of conversation, I would imagine, in the course of that. Also tonight is a special city council meeting in relation to Douglas Hill to finalize TIF commission appointments. And so the TIF commission is about the public investment that would go into infrastructure costs, namely related to the Shady Creek area and the whole floodplain down in that area of that redevelopment. This is, of course, important to the life of Webster Groves, including all of our business districts and how it affects us all. But I just wanted to highlight that. That will be tonight. I expect the council to make their final appointments tonight for those 3 seats that they have. Planning Commission met last night. I'm not going to, I'll let Mara go through her update on where the status is of Douglas Hill and that, but obviously Douglas Hill is probably the preeminent issue publicly ahead of the city right now as we go into these next few months. So I just wanted to put that on radars for everyone. Also, things we keep finding in stacks of things to do here at the city as both Dr. Peoples and I get engaged and are relatively new to the city. We are in finance required to issue a monthly report to the council under our fiscal policies about just where the budget's at, which we should do. And it's, so your budgets will be part of that. I just want to make you aware in case council's like, what's going on with this money and all that. So I don't expect many questions, just to highlight for you in that regard. I think I'll turn to Mara because I know we have a list of businesses and permits if there's anything that Mara wants to discuss, and then I'll wrap it up with one more thing.
So I'm looking at our minutes from last month so that I'm not repeating anything. So most of those are all still either just recently opened or under construction. The CUP for a daycare center up in the Zeta Dell Business District over by Maypop was not held or continued. They are still working on some of their issues. The CUP was approved for additional repair at an existing used car lot on Watson, so that'll move on to city council for a public hearing. The text amendments for multifamily in the C and D commercial districts had its first and second reading at council at the last meeting. So it'll go for a final vote at this upcoming council meeting. The impact to all of you is that it gives some opportunity for a mixed use type development or something with multifamily units, possibly at the old Subaru dealership. So it gives some opportunity and gives a little bit more flexibility to what can be built or rebuilt in certain areas. Douglas Hill was on last night after the CUP for the used car lot. We did a full analysis at last night's meeting, but then we are moving on. So they've scheduled a special meeting for August 31st. It's going to be a Zoom only meeting, and it's only going to be focused on public comment. We didn't take any public comment last night. We were already at almost 9:15, and we've been there since 6 o'clock. So we went ahead and we're going to do public comment only. All the comments that have come in since the last time we read comments into the record. Then they will have their regular September meeting. And we think there will be no other items on that night, and hopefully it will just be Douglas Hill. They will continue the discussion of the rezoning and continue to look at the regulations that could be put in place if it moves forward to council. So that covers all of those. For those that didn't follow the news, Proposition 1 did end up passing. And so the regulations that we had put in place for 2-family structures are no longer applicable. We will look at what our next steps will be on any other code changes we might move forward. And I think that kind of covers that. There are, just as a reminder, and I think we talked about this last meeting, there will be the 3 events for the Webster Arts in Gazebo Park. I don't want to forget about that when we talked about fall events. So they do have permission. I'm getting ready to issue their special activities permit. I know Gazebo Series worked very nicely with Webster University on trying to get banners up. Normally the university and the Gazebo Series don't overlap with their welcome to students. So you guys worked quite well on kind of finagling those around. And I think that's it for all of the events. I've been hearing about a couple of their new businesses, but I haven't gotten any new business licenses in. I know John is working with one of his tenants, so Union Studio is moving locations, but they're staying within Old Orchard. And I've spoken with them about what they need to move their business license from the one location to the other. And I think that's everything.
The only thing I was going to add in my final wrap up was on Prop 1. Mara summed it up very well, but I think what I've heard from council members is obviously the 5-2 vote that initiated the ordinance is still very much there on council. There's some serious conversations council will be having about what do we move forward on and how do we address a housing issue in the city of Webster Groves, the missing middle, as we call it, and the economic ramification of how do you buy a home in Webster Groves if you're not privileged, very privileged to be able to start that down that path. So I just wanted to bring that up back up, that it's not the vote is not a nail in the coffin by any means of the conversations about housing affordability and choices. So.
And on a totally random subject, goats, in case you haven't seen anything about our goats.
You all want them in Old Webster?
Please enjoy the information on goats.
So now just next meeting, September 14th.
And we'll have this room is open. So just like in the past days, we'll be here, but we'll have the Zoom option as well. So, and John, thank you. I stopped this morning at your fine establishment. And we have scones for everyone here. So hopefully you can join us.
Oh, man. I'll have to show up
Okay,
in person next
I
time.
paid for them, John. So you should be like, yes, good job. So.
Thank you
All right.
for supporting.
You're absolutely welcome.
Motion for adjournment.
A
It's
motion to
Angel.
adjourn.
I'll second.
All right. Thanks. See y'all later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay cool.
Thank you.